Good morning. We are back for our second video. This will be our third part of our table of contents. Today's lesson is solving equations with variables on both sides. Again with these long titles. Okay. So solving equations with variables on both sides, hopefully it doesn't get all shaky in the middle of this lesson. So open up to a new side or a fresh page, and we will get started. So again, this is going to be Unit 1, Lesson 3, solving equations with variables on both sides. We're going to abbreviate that because this is some BS. Okay, so when solving equations with variables on both sides, the most important thing is to get the variable onto one side. You want to isolate that variable using those properties. So let's make sure we write that down. So when solving equations with variables on both sides, use equality properties to isolate the variable to one side of the equal sign. Alrighty, so make sure you got that down. I will try to write in a little bit better handwriting next line down. Been a long day. So before we get started though, quick reminder. So you want to remember to simplify. Thinking about yesterday's lesson, okay, we want to remember to simplify. Code for that would be combining like terms. So you want to do that prior to using the equality properties. And again, that's if that's possible. It's not going to be possible every single time to simplify. Okay, so I'm going to move that up, and we will get started with example number 1. So example number 1 is negative 2x plus 15 is equal to 4x plus 39. So take a look. If you want to pause it and try it on your own, you can. But we are going to take a look. We either need to get the negative 2x to this side or the 4x to this side. So there's going to be a bunch of ways of solving these problems, and we'll have great discussion in class about those. But for the sake of not doing the same example a million different times, I'm going to choose to add 2x to both sides. So negative 2x plus 2x is 0, so that's going to cancel out. And then we have 4x plus 2x is going to give us 6x and bring down that 39. Now we used the equality property of addition for that, so I'm going to write that over in my justifications. Now the next step would be to isolate the variable on the other side, so getting those constants onto the other side of the equal sign. So we are going to eliminate that positive 39 by subtracting it. What we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. And 15 minus 39 is going to give us that negative 24 and bring down that 6x. And we use the equality property of subtraction. And then last but not least, we need to get the variable completely by itself. So we are going to divide both sides by 6 to get our final answer, so we use that equality property of division because we were dividing. Negative 24 divided by 6 is going to give you that negative 4. And we will be finished with that. And let's go on to another example. I'm going to leave that one right up there. Okay, example number 2. We're going to do 4 examples today, so stay with me. We have 3x minus 5 is equal to 10x plus 37 minus 4x. So take a look. If you want to try this one on your own, you can. And we're going to look at this side right here and notice that we have some like terms that we can combine. So we're, next line down, we are just going to simplify it and combine those like terms. So I'm going to have 6x plus 37. So in my justifications, I'm going to write that I simplified. Alrighty, so now I need to get my variable to one side. I could either subtract 13 or subtract 6. I'm going to choose to subtract 6 on this one. So that is going to cancel out, getting the variable onto one side. 13x minus 6x is going to give us 7x minus 7, which is going to be equal to 37. And I use the equality property of subtraction. Subtraction. Okay. Need to get that variable to alone on one side, so I need to eliminate this negative 5 or this minus 5, and I'm going to do that using addition. So the equality property of addition, we use those equality properties a lot when we're solving. So I have 7x is equal to 42. And then last but not least, I'm going to use that equality property of division. So I'm going to have x is equal to 42 divided by 7, which is 6. So make sure you're including your justifications. Alrighty. Let's go 2 more. New page here, flipping over on the back. Oh, messing up my things here. Okay. Example number 3. We have negative 7 parentheses x minus 1, close the parentheses, is equal to negative 5 parentheses x minus 5. Alrighty, so if you want to pause and try it, hopefully your eyes instantly go to those parentheses and in your head you think the distributive property. So I'm going to draw those arrows. I'm going to do 2 at once here, okay? So we've got the distributive property. So I'm going to have negative 7x plus 7, negative times a negative is a positive, is equal to negative 5x, and then again, negative times a negative is going to give us that positive 25. Oh my god. Alright, well, the lights just went off in the classroom, so let's see if I can turn it back on. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I've got 2 options here. I could add 5x to both sides. I could add 7x to both sides. Totally up to you here. I'm going to add 5x. So that's going to cancel out. That's the equality property of addition. Negative 7x plus 5x is going to give us 2x. So I have 2x plus 7 is equal to 25. Need to get the variable by itself, so I'm going to subtract 7. 7 minus 7 is 0, so I'll be left with 2x on that side. 25 minus 7 is going to give me 18. And I use the equality property of subtraction. How am I doing on time? Not too bad. Alrighty, and then finishing it off with division. 18 divided by 2 is going to give us 9. Alrighty. Last one, example 4. So I'm going to have 1/2 parentheses 8x plus 4, close the parentheses, is equal to 2x minus 10. I should instantly go to the parentheses. We're going to want to use that distributive property. Okay, so 1/2 times 8 is going to be 4, so I'm going to be left with 4x. 1/2 of 4 is going to be 2. Bring down the other side of the equal sign. Got a couple options here. I could subtract 4 from both sides, or I could subtract 2. Both are going to get you the answer, but I'm going to choose to subtract 2x. We want to take care of the variables first. These are going to go out there. That was the equality property of subtraction. Alrighty, now I need to get the 2x alone on one side, so I'm going to eliminate this positive 2 by subtracting it to both sides. So I'm going to have 2x is equal to a negative 12. Is that the, yep, I need to write, I did the equality property of subtraction again. And then last but not least, we need to get x completely by itself, so we're going to divide 2 from both sides. So I'm going to have x is equal to negative 12 divided by 2, which is going to be negative 6. And you're